Hello, and I'm back, and we're gonna talk some Dynamite. Yeah, some Dynamite, because Dynamite's good. So we're gonna talk some Dynamite. Okay, so let's get started. This is for the September 8th, 2020 edition of Dynamite on TNT. It was actually on Wednesday because I guess there was no basketball. And then next week, of course, we don't know because it may be basketball, it may not be basketball. It's all up in the air. So that will be interesting to see. But anyways, so we started off pretty much like we do with right off of a match. We had Jurassic Express versus the Lucha Bros. This was good. I thought everyone looked pretty good. The Lucha Bros looked good. Jungle Boy looked good. Luchasaurus looked good. Not a lot of Marco Stunt. Surprisingly, usually he's a little bit more in their matches, but I think there was a reason for that, which is that they were going to be that since they're taking on FTR later, I guess next week soon, and then if they win, which I expect them to win, they become the #1 contenders. So I expect that to happen, but we'll get to that in a minute or later. But anyways, match was pretty good. Lots of Lucha Boy, Jungle Boy, looking pretty good. Luchasaurus doing all his Luchasaurus stuff. The Lucha Bros doing all of the stuff that they do really well. Ray Phoenix, walking the tightropes, doing all of that stuff. I really enjoyed the match. Thought it was good. Not great, but it was good. The Lucha Express winning was fun. Was a little bit of miscommunication as Penta hit the Lucha Boy, then Jungle Boy pinned Ray Phoenix, and we'll get to the aftermath of that here in a little bit. But good match, pretty good opener. I like that. There's a part of me is that the Lucha Bros were not a tag team because I really feel like Penta. I've felt like this since the beginning of AEW that Penta as a single star would be a lot better. That said, I think he would be a better single star when you have lots of fans. Is maybe the best right now way to use him, though I don't think in the past it has been. So there is that. So like I said, we come. I believe we went to break. We come back from break. Jake and Archer cut a promo. Pretty good promo. They were outside. It was raining. They were talking about getting wet, all this stuff that they're going to destroy Moxley. I read up the fact that they had wrestled before in New Japan, and that the match was really good, and that and everything that had happened, with everything with that. So yeah, that sounds good stuff, doesn't it? But so that was good. So then we come back to the ring. Penta and Ray are arguing with each other. Eddie Kingston's trying to get them to settle down. Butcher Blade come in. They kind of help. They go through all this stuff. Eddie's kind of like talking to them, saying, "Hey, what happened to the Battle Royal? We should be running this place. This is awesome. Where's all your friends?" They tell, which I'm guessing is a hint to something else. They're like, tells Penta and Ray, "Where's your UK buddy?" All of that. So I imagine maybe when Pac comes back, we get Pac and Eddie. That would be, I think. So yeah. So we had that. Everybody, for the most part, shakes hands. We go there. It was. Oh, and Eddie said he was never officially eliminated with the rules. I'd have to go back. Didn't even notice if I noticed myself. I'm guessing he didn't ever go over the top rope when he was eliminated. I'm guessing that was the case. So I'm guessing that's going to play into something later. So there we go with that. We go back to break. We come back. Matt Hardy comes out for an interview. He basically says he's going to make 100% recovery. He's not wasn't horribly hurt. He was hurt. He did sound a little off. I'm not gonna lie. At least I thought so, but maybe I was being a little too critical watching. Critical eye. But and he said that when he came back, he was gonna try to um, get ranked and go after the title. So because everybody's going after the title now. That was a thing that happened during this whole thing, which I think is fine. Then we had Orange Cassidy versus Angelico with who's his partner? Jack Evans. I love Jack Evans. And Jack Evans was actually at ringside. I'd much rather these guys being tagging together, but it is what it is. This was good, especially for a Orange Cassidy match. Though I do think he maybe did a little too much, but that's just being a little thing. I think yeah, you had him do this thing with Jericho, and I think everyone was like, oh, now he's got a fire lit on ring, and now he's going to try and all of this, and I think he really should like go back and I think you can still use him, still like not carrying in a way, I guess. I just wasn't real like on this. But he did go out, he did win. Match was really good. Enjoyed it. So there we go. After the match, Ortiz and Santana came out, beat him up. Best Friends came out. They challenged them to a street fight. So we're getting that. So that will be good at some point. So yeah. Then Kip Sabian came out. He was going to announce who the best man was, and Ford was with him. And he starts announcing who he is, and so let's see what's all happening here. Came out, kicked Tony out, called him Timmy. This guy came out, don't know who, of some sort. He called him Puff, and then said he wasn't. He says, "Oh, I'm the best man." He says, "No, I said you were the best for subscribing. I didn't say you were the best man." And so then he calls for the best man again. Then Brian Pillman Jr. comes out. Pretty much the same thing happens again. And I like Brian Pillman Jr., but it is what it is. And he says, I'm not even your friend. So, there we go. Then we do it again, and now Rusev comes out as Miro comes out. He's the best man. He cuts a promo, talks about he was living in a house under a glass ceiling, going after imaginary brass rings and doing all of this stuff, and take that ring and shove it up your ass. And so this was good. I like that he's here. I like that that he's here because I think he's going to do really well. I think you look at a guy. So this is so I can't. So okay, I'm at work. I work nights. I go to lunch. Usually when I go to lunch, Impact is pretty much just over. And I see all of these people talking about on Twitter, and I shouldn't just like ignore it. But I was just like, what are these people like thinking? And they're talking about the fact that they signed another WWE guy. It's another WWE. It's another WWE main card guy. It's this. It's that. It's that. Okay. First of all, WWE signed everybody. They've signed everybody. Everybody under the sun. They have a on the main roster. No one wants them on the main roster though, because everyone knows what happens. Look at Keith Lee. Apparently, I haven't watched Raw, but from what I've heard, and that's sad, and all of that. But you have these guys who could be really good. So what? You sign these guys and then you don't use them, or you don't sign them because that's a WWE guy. He's a WWE mid card guy. Imagine if WWF way back when never signed Steve Austin. Imagine if WCW, right, never signed Hall Nash. Imagine if WWE never signed Chris Jericho. or Triple H for that matter. I mean, if we really want to get technical, I mean, you can go down the line of I mean, that's such a stupid argument. And I get that the argument comes from TNA, from back when. Here's the difference. If you sign dudes, right, and you basically sign dudes from another company, and then you bring those guys in, and you basically say, okay, these are the real superstars, and the guys that we've been pushing and the guys we've been building aren't up to stuff, so we're just going to feed them to these new dudes. For that reason, that's no good. If you bring them in, right, and you're still elevating your new dudes, right, that you're building, and you bring these guys in, and you use them to elevate said guys, or you use them because you feel like they're underutilized, and you go, we're gonna show what this guy can do. That's different. And I think people don't understand that. It really amazes me that people can't understand that, like, sometimes two things can be true without either of them being false. And I think a lot of people don't realize that sometimes. But anyways, I'm glad he's there. I'm a huge fan. It'd be interesting to see, like, everything that goes from there. So there we go. Then we had Tony had a sit down with Adam Page. And this was interesting. This basically showed that, like, Adam still wants, to everything to be okay. Everything's not okay. He's upset. He's, being a little too whiny, maybe. It'd be a little nice if he was a little bit more stoned, but I kind of get where they're going at the same time. We'll see where this goes, but I thought the interview was good. If it's like a page, as we kind of go, I figure where we're going is that Omega will eventually get the title, and Page will beat Omega for the title somewhere down the line. I figured that's ultimately where we're going. So that, I think, is in this interview that I didn't maybe necessarily like, or I think you could have done it a different way. I think it's still leading you to the same place, so that's okay. Then we had the Young Bucks. We had Marquez was going to interview them. They wouldn't open the door. They super ticked him. I guess this was their heel moment. And then finally, after the pay-per-view, you had Excalibur kind of talk about the fact that, yeah, he's seen them when they're heels, and that they're different when they're heels. I wish he'd done a little bit more. Wish they kind of done that on the pay-per-view, but a thumbs up for actually doing it after I had complained about it. So, not saying that because I said it, they did it, but it was nice to see. All the same. Then we had what tag match? We had Chris Jericho and Jack Hager as a tag team now, taking on Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. This was okay. I mean, this was okay. It served its purpose. My biggest complaint with this match is it was a no holds barred, it was a street fight, right? We had tags. Why do you have tags? The whole purpose of when it's a street fight as a tag match, they're illegal. Everybody can be in the ring at the same time. It's a big, wild craziness. Why do this? This annoys the hell out of me when any promotion does this. If it's a street fight, if it's a no-hold-barred fight and match of any kind, and it's a tag match, there doesn't need to be any tags. You don't have to sit on the outside. There can be double teams from now to the end of time. It doesn't matter. So there we go. There was my complaint with that. Hager won. I thought the match was, like I said, pretty good. I like Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela, so that helped. And I thought that once Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss kind of got the upper hand a little bit, I thought the match got a little better. But Jack Hager was still kind of Jack Hager. So, I mean, I think the guy could be so much better than he is, and he's just kind of just a dud, to be honest. Oh! I completely forgot how the show opened, how it truly opened. I just remembered because I'm talking about Jericho. So the show truly opened. Jericho comes out in his car. My wife was watching with me at this moment. She watches AEW with me, and like AEW is like melatonin for her for some reason. Like she wants to watch and she falls asleep. Like she gets mad. Um, but she's watching with me, and she goes, "This is funny because Jericho shows up in what looks like the Suburban, and MJF shows up in what looks like, you know, the customized Escalade." So it was kind of funny, and they were congratulating each other, and they were kind of saying, you know, you got screwed. It was all bad. You know, they all said, "Oh, I respect you," and they shook each other's hand and they walked off, and they were both like, "What a dick, what a loser, what a," you know, which was funny because at that point I was like, "Man, you know what, that'd make a pretty good tag team," and then they did that, and if I remember right, I think they've done that before with these two, and I'm wondering if at some point they're gonna lead to where they're gonna like have like a big major feud at some point. I might be remembering wrong, but I want to think that that has happened before with them. But anyways, I had forgotten about that, so there we go. Um, so yeah, so then Jericho says that, you know, him and Hager are going to go for the tag team titles. And they're going, you know, because the tag team titles in AEW actually mean something, so there is that, which is cool. So yeah. Um, then that MGF segment, he basically says the campaign's over. Everyone's fired. Um, this, that, the other. Um, he, oh, and you had a little what? You had some more MJF and Wardlow friction a little bit, as he said, he would kick him out. So yeah, it was that was good. I liked that. I liked that a lot. So there was that. Then Moxley cut a promo talking about the fact that when Lance won, he was like, son of a bitch, because he knew that it was gonna be like crazy. Um, you know, but it was a good promo. It was a Moxley promo. So there you go. So then we had FTR come out, and FTR, this was like their celebration thing, and FTR saying that they were the greatest tag team, they were the greatest champions. They had some of the tag teams out there, um, talking about everybody. They ran everybody down, made everybody mad, and then basically it turned into you know it turned into kind of a comedy thing. It played into the whole FTR versus Jungle Express thing that's going to be next week, so there is that. Then Taz showed up on commentary, and it was like, "Oh, we're going to see Darby," and they're like, "Oh, no, it's Darby Starks." Yeah, so Starks come out, cut a promo on Darby, like he has before. It's pretty good. We've seen this before. It works. Starks is good. And yeah, so there we go. That was good. Then we had Conti, who just signed apparently, and for her for her prize for signing with AEW, she gets her a match with Nyla Rose, which they brought up was still technically the number one contender, even though she hasn't had her rematch since she lost. Uh, and so this was it was Nyla Rose match, AEW women's match, which are never that great for the most part. And yeah, so Nyla won, and then Sheeta came out, and so that's probably going to be the next big thing. Um, so yeah. Then Vicky cut a promo because she came out without Rose. And yeah, so there was that. They announced that the Young Bucks were going to be fined $5,000 a piece, so $10,000 for kicking Marvez. They also announced that that Rosa Elite Evelise. We're going to have a match next week, if I remember right. And then Omega, Ross had a sit down with Omega, which was basically the complete opposite of the page, where he was like, I'm over it. I want to go for the tag titles. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I lost the tag titles. Who cares? And, so again, like I said, I really feel like this is headed towards Omega wins the title, Page beats him for the title, and gets his crown, so there we go. So then we get the main event, which was Brodie Lee, Mr. Brodie Lee, versus Dustin Rhodes. This was really, or Reynolds, I guess I should say Dustin Reynolds, not Dustin Rhodes. This was pretty good, really good, maybe pretty good, really good. It was good. The Dustin doesn't wrestle a lot, so when he does, he can pretty much go all out. He pulled out some pretty cool stuff in this match. Really liked it. I thought that I never thought that Dustin was going to win. I already knew he wasn't. Where there was maybe just a little bit of a doubt that maybe they would give him the title and have him feud, but this was definitely set up a lot of that sort of thing. You still had Brodie Lee won. They still kind of prolonged the Colt Cabana thing, so that was good. And so there we go. And at some point, I guess Cody's gonna have a go big show type of thing that we're gonna do. So, anyways, so that was Dynamite. I thought it was pretty good. I thought they progressed the stories that they needed to progress. They announced some good stuff that I'm looking forward to down the line. So that's always good. And yeah, it was a good show. I thought it was actually. Yeah. Good 2 hours of TV. There you go. So anyways, that is all of that. That is my thoughts. I thought it was good. Like I said, I thought everything progressed nicely. I thought that some of my complaints with the pay were kind of addressed, but not all of them, unfortunately. But I think you can kind of see where they're going, and we'll have to see where what's the next one? Full Gear, I think, is the next pay-per-view. We'll have to see what they have planned for that. When you look at everything, you look at how they're kind of stacking everything. It looks like they may really be, even though Page and Omega are splitting, that they're really kind of focusing on the tag team. So Full Gear might be very tag team heavy, which hey, I'm fine with. They have more than enough really, really good tag teams and great tag teams to do that and me not complain one bit. So there we go. But anyways, with that, I'm out. Have a good one.